What's good, people? Happy Friday. One superpower. If you're an agile coach or a scrum master, if you could pick one thing that you could have at the start of your career, what would it be? Let me put this down. Do you know what mine would be? Without a shadow of a doubt, it would be 100% timing. Everything we do is about timing. How many times have you worked with teams or, individual managers, and the idea makes sense intellectually, you get it, they get it, but they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it because it doesn't seem to compel them to want to make that change. When I talk about timing, it really is, akin to like learning a martial arts. As someone who enjoys Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you can learn about the techniques all day long, but you never really understand when to apply a technique or a method or a submission, whatever it is, until you have been in the mix and you get to sense what is happening and you know when to turn it on at the right time. Timing, joining a team, definition of done, many years back. I couldn't understand, why would they not want to have this thing called a definition of done? How comes unit testing is not part of some sort of document that says this is something we want to be aligned on, right? Solid principles, whatever it is. I couldn't understand why they weren't interested, because that team implicitly knew what it took to get to done. They weren't interested in an explicit version of that. But as the team started to grow and we were interdependent on one another, it wasn't just about one team. So I became frustrated. What does timing have to do with this? Sometimes you have to allow people to make the mistakes themselves, let them have that normative experience, let them see what happens when they don't have something, and that provides a window of opportunity to deliver the idea. Same thing has happened with team contracts. Everybody's been talking about team contracts for at least a half decade and then some. You join a team, hey, here's a great idea. How do we set up the expectations that we need from one another? And it doesn't land. And you're like, why? Why would a team not want this awesome technique so that we're clear on what we expect from one another? That's because my timing was off. You join a team and there needs to often be a catalyst to that conversation. So you're in a retro, they're going at it. Clearly, there's some sort of misalignment. People aren't clear on what they expect from one another. Cool. That is your little window right there to ask that question. Folks, how are we aligned? How do we get clarity on what we expect from one another? It's relevant to the context. You probably have their attention at that point. They are more open to listening to an idea when it's relevant, as opposed to, I read this in a guide, or this is what I learned from my agile course, and so on. Timing would be my superpower. What would yours be? I'm not saying I've got that superpower, by the way. I'm saying that's the superpower that I wish I acquired. Peace.